All right, good afternoon, comrades. So this afternoon, we're here for a commitment. This is to all the NDCs, Guyana, we're led in the territories where resources were allocated with limited factors being provided to the enterprise. As
Eh? Eh, solid. Eh?
Solid?
Yeah, I'm moving on. It's solid. Listen.
Show me one.
right, so today we are here for the Halugo of 14 tractors to the 14 LDCs of Region 3. This is part of President Ali's commitment to all of our
Soon,
LDCs in the
soon
country.
reach here.
We
Soon,
already
soon.
over 120
Stay
tractors,
young.
and these tractors are for the upgrade of services within our full democratic corridors. These tractors are worth about
What, the tractors?
6 million.
Put in my ear? Yeah,
Look, let's stop.
Mas já can't go 3 times no. When you start.
So just to inform you once again, we are delivering on behalf of President Ali's commitment to the NDCs of Region 3, 14 tractors. We have procured under the intervention of His Excellency 120 tractors for the NDCs across the country, 70 and 10 tons. We will also be presenting the subvention payments to the 14 NDCs. In total today we will be distributing over $100 million worth of equipment and subvention support. So I now invite Minister Ashley Singh, the Honorable Minister of Finance.
Thank you very much, Minister Dharmalal, Your Excellency, President Ali, Cabinet colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. Like Minister Dharmalal said just a few minutes ago, we will be witnessing very shortly the handover of 14 tractors and trailers, one each to each NDC in Guyana, in Region 3 rather. But this handing over ceremony is to be viewed as part of a much larger agenda for transformation of Region 3 and for transformation of Guyana more broadly. As all of you know, since President Ali assumed the presidency in August 2020, our country has moved on a trajectory of rapid and very visible transformation. And this transformation is being seen and experienced in all 10 regions of our country. And His Excellency has repeatedly made a commitment to our Guyanese brothers and sisters, first of all to advance a rapid transformation and modernization of our country by major transformative projects, but in parallel, addressing the local issues and irritants that are of most immediate concerns to them. And if a few examples could be given in Region 3, from the transformative standpoint, this region is poised for the most exciting economic developments that it has ever seen since literally the establishment of our country. If you think that there's a brand new gas-to-energy project that will be landing gas on the shores of West Demerara, and an energy and NGL plant that will be constructed at Wales within the Wales Development Authority, which will house Guyana's largest industrial development. If you consider that there is currently a major shore-based project being developed in West Demerara, just to give two examples, and of course the supportive public infrastructure, like the bridge across the Demerara River, the new 4-lane highway, the initially Crane to Skunard and then ultimately Skunard to Parika, just to mention a few, it would be the unavoidable conclusion that Region 3 in just a couple of years will be unrecognizable as a modern region and a modern and major center of economic activity. But at the same time, His Excellency recognizes that there are local irritants that need to be fixed. Issues like community roads, community drainage, and other local problems. And he is committed to ensuring that the local authorities, whether it is NDCs or local offices or agencies, have the capacity to discharge their responsibilities efficiently. And so the handover of these tractors and trailers is to be viewed in that regard. An important investment being made to ensure that the NDCs are able to discharge their very important local responsibilities. And I might add that similar transformative initiatives and similar local initiatives are being rolled out across the country. And I might mention, because we're handing over tractors and trailers, that His Excellency also instructed that every single Amerindian village in Guyana is to be given a tractor and trailer. And that is currently being rolled out as well. So I will stop there simply to say, Your Excellency, thank you very much for this yet another major transformative initiative, and it's my great honor to be able to join you on this important occasion. I hand the microphone now over to His Excellency President.
Thank you very much, Ashley. First of all, I want to thank Indar, Nigel, Ashley, Colin Kroll, and all the ministers who are here, the heads of agencies and technical people. I'll do so more broadly in the press conference just now. But enormous work was undertaken over the last 2 days, but more importantly, over the last 2.5 years. This region has seen tremendous transformation, expansion of opportunities, creation of jobs, housing alone, more than 10,000 new opportunities in either new house lots or new homes being constructed. A lot of the work in this region, led by the regional chairman, the vice chairman and their team, but very ably supported by Minister Indar, who has ministerial responsibility in this region also. And he has been tasked with visiting every single community, interacting with the communities, and connecting government services directly with the communities. One of the major irritants across different communities is the environment, cleanliness, and the way we treat the environment. And this is not only an NDC or a government function. This is an individual function. How we behave and care for the environment, how we treat the environment, how we discard of garbage, our whole attitude towards the environment is an important aspect of holistic living. So today, Nigel and the Ministry of Local Government, working very hard across the various NDCs, is delivering another promise by the government of Ghana, where every single NDC will now receive one brand new tractor with a hydraulic trailer to help them in the whether it is a routine patching of roads, moving of material, this would definitely help in greater efficiency and reliability. But I also want to urge the NDCs and those who will be using this asset to ensure that they do so safely, but more importantly, that they care these assets. Many times we have seen NDCs and government agencies on the whole not taking the necessary care with investments the government is making in relation to their assets. And this cannot be allowed to continue. We will have to hold people accountable in the way they utilize government assets, in the way in which they care for government assets. Because this ultimately is the asset of the people. And our government is not only investing in people and assets for the people, but investing in the transformation of our country, the transformation of our community. So I congratulate all the NDCs today. I hope that they will make good use of these assets, take good care of the assets. I want to thank all the leaders in the region, all the technical people who are here, and to say to you all that once we continue to shoulder the burden of development together, once we continue to be reliable partners with each other, reliable partners with the people, once we continue to embrace each other and embrace the transformation through an understanding that we are doing it for the larger good than each of us individually and all of us collectively. And that larger good is Guyana. Guyana and the advancement of Guyana is bigger than any one of us. And the ultimate goal of this government is the advancement of Guyana. I thank you, and God bless all of you.
Oh, there he is. You sure you don't want me to do it? You want me to do it? What is that?
There you go, she did. Come. Professor, you can come here. Get some more chairs. Where's Colin? Colin. Yeah, show my sister in the back and get Colin. Put the chair here. Put the chair. You come down and put the chair between the chair and test. Be on our second regional outdoor press conference, if you put it that way. As you're aware, over the last 2 days, and we are continuing now because we have still a number of persons to be served. We have been here in Region 3 listening to people, listening to their concerns. You expect me to hold it, right? Listening to their concerns and and finding solution to problems and irritants that people would have across the region. We have developed an electronic app to track exactly what we are doing in different regions, to measure performance, and also to ensure that even when we leave here, the work continue in resolving people's problem. If you look on the screen behind me, you will see that so far, and it's still populating, we have completed, or in the process of completing, 4,838 files. That is 4,838 persons would have been serviced over the last 2 days here. I think the technical staff definitely deserve a resounding round of applause. Out of that, you would see, and this is the efficiency that we talk about, the type of transparent, open, accountable government that we are running. You will see that out of the total 1,770 cases has already been solved. That is 1,770 persons who have already have their issues resolved.
71 now.
71 now. As you see, it is being updated in real time. And that is how the system is working. You will see it changing all the time because it's real time. Right now, as we're having this press conference, we have 1,949 cases still open. That is, people still are being served across the ground here. And a lot of that is at the housing booth. I want to thank Colin and his team. They have, as you know, the housing program was dead for 5 years. Nothing was done in housing for 5 years. And this is a demonstration as to the effect of an ineffective government. In 5 years, did nothing for housing. Today, we have brought back housing to one of the most vibrant states in the history of our country. And if you see on the screen, you will see that 187 cases has been referred to other agency, and the staff will be following up this over the coming days. We have 275 persons who came here, left the phone number. Their cases were followed up overnight. The team is trying to get them, but they're unreachable because their numbers might have been ringing out or not working. You will see that 469 cases are being followed up right now with other agency, and I'll tell you a bit about that. There's a situation here where we had an old housing area in Lenora Pasture that within 24 hours, Jailal, how old is this issue? Decades? 100-year-old issue. We have been able to resolve in the last 24 hours here, bringing titles to people's homes. Now, you will see 189 that says not actionable. You might want to know what is that. Those are cases of private nature, where persons have a matter in the court, they have a dispute on land, and those we cannot intervene. As you know, the independence of the judiciary is important, and that is under, most of them are with the judiciary. So as I said, the issues that continue to attract a lot of attention would be around housing, and that is because of the lack of investment and vibrancy by the last administration, and that is being corrected. In the last 2.5 years alone, in this region, we have put in infrastructure to bring into being more than 10,000 new lots by the end of this year, would come into operation by the end of this year. We are launching the low-income housing program. We are launching young professional. In addition to that, the NIS programs, as you know, We had many sugar estates over here, so we expect NIS issues to also occupy a major part of the outreach. And indeed, we were not disappointed. We have a number of NIS issues, a number of community issues. But I must say that since we started these outreaches 2.5 years, I don't see the GM for NIS here. She's supposed to, oh, she's here. She's supposed to be up here with us. That, more than how many thousands? More than 6,000 individual cases we have been able to resolve with NIS over the last 1.5 years, I would say. And I think that is a major accomplishment. The Ministry of Local Government is also working on many community issues, whether it's drainage. We dealt with a number of agricultural issues. I want to acknowledge Lionel and his team. Lands and Survey, Mr. Muniz and his team. For the first time, I think we are ahead of the game. In this region, we have more than 70 leases sitting at the office at Freedom Hoop that people need to pick up. And we're going to advertise those leases publicly so that persons can go up and pick those leases up. There are some old issues with Lands and Survey that we've also been able to address. The region, the Gold Scholarship Program, Ministry of Education, all of these agencies, Ministry of Health, did tremendous work. I want to also recognize Peter Ramsuru and Jerry. They work a lot with the different private sector agencies, private persons who had business proposals, and supported the Office of the President team. The permanent secretaries who are here, the members of Parliament, I want to thank all of you and all of them for the strong support they've given. This exercise also allows us to understand the priorities of communities, the priorities of the region, so that when we develop our budgetary framework in the new year, we will be able to understand in a first-hand manner from the people directly what their priorities are and what our interests should be. So as I have committed to, at the end of each of these outreaches, we will have an update on what we did. And now, through the development of this app, I want to thank our National IT Advisor, Darrell, and their team, and all the supporting team from the Office of the President, my Secretariat, for the tremendous work that they have done. Dr. Ashley Singh, the Minister of Finance, is an important part of the follow-up mechanism. There are a number of projects that were raised. The ministers that you see here will form themselves into a subcommittee, and they will be going out to the communities to look at those projects and to make an assessment and advise Cabinet for the necessary action to be taken. As I said before, I want to really congratulate all the members of Cabinet and technical staff and the members of the public who turned up in their numbers, and we were just very humbled and very pleased to serve you, and we hope that our service would have made a difference. So thank you very much, and we're open for questions from any member of the media now, if there are any questions. Yes, please tell us which media house. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. Tamika Guyana from the Guyana Chronicle. I just have a few questions. I know that we encountered a lot of issues with NIS and housing, and that was to be expected as well as community issues. But can you say if there were any challenges that were unique to this region that came up during the 2 days that you were here? Additionally, you didn't mention much about the business community. Can you say if you mentioned that Jerry and Mr. Ramsrud met with the business community. Can you say if anything unique was raised in that meeting with the business community and how the government plans to deal with this or move forward with whatever might have came up? That's it for me.
So, in terms of uniqueness, I think this region is very close to Region 4. And what I have seen is the confidence in the development of this region, triggering a lot of investment, proposals, a lot of business interests, and more persons wanting to own their own homes in this region. What is interesting is a number of young persons. Most of those who came forward in the housing program and are applying are less than 25 years old. And that is a tremendous, tremendous accomplishment. When this government came into office in 1992, this region was heavily populated with squatting. Every single community had a major squatter settlement. And we have been able to regularize those communities, expand housing, and now creating great momentum in the socio-economic advancement of this region. In terms of business, there are many proposals that were brought to us from aquaculture, the hydroponics, large-scale agriculture, hotels, apartments, real estate on the whole, supermarkets, small manufacturing facility. For a matter of fact, very soon we'll be opening an internationally branded plantain chip factory here in this region that will be adding value to plantains that is being produced here, and the region is a major producer of plantains. So there are a lot of proposals that came to us that we were able to pass to the Go Invest. The Minister of Finance is following up on a lot of this. So I would say not uniqueness, but a lot of pleasant excitement about where the region is going and where the country is going, a lot of optimism, a lot of confidence, and I would say it's a high-energy environment. I want to recognize the CEO from Ministry of Education, Mr. Saddam. He should be up with us in front here too, for his work on the ground and in resolving a lot of the small irritants in the school system, because we are trying to create infrastructure in the school system that encourages learning, that promotes learning. And one of the things we are doing in this region, because the population, the student population is growing rapidly in this region. Saddam, this may be one of the fastest growing school population in terms of schools in the region. And we're expanding those schools, we're extending, we're looking at new ways in fast tracking the building of new schools also. So what I would say, my friend from Chronicle, is that the whole infrastructure push and transformation is creating new challenges that we are ahead of, that we are building for. Thank you. Yes, please.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. President, ministers, and other members of the head table. My name is Davina Bagat, and I'm with Kaichori News. Mr. President, first of all, congratulations on all the progress that you've mentioned here. But I have some questions to you regarding some other pressing matters that you did not address earlier. First of all, sir, the audit report for ExxonMobil's expenses was expected by this month end. Can you kindly give us an update on if the government received that report?
We will definitely give you that update at the appropriate time. So, right, today we are working on the 2 days outreach. And let me tell you something, because I know the next 3 questions you'll ask. The gas to shore project is going to be done. The gas to shore project is going to be completed in this region, and the cost of electricity will come down by 50% for all the people of this country. The second question.
I don't have a question relating to gas energy, but thank you for that.
Good. Next.
ExxonMobil is looking to buy their own SUVs. We reported on this as well. Do you think by allowing the purchase of these vehicles, the oil company can exploit the opportunity and thereby drown out the local transportation service provider?
I don't think so at all. We have protection in local content for certain businesses. We have a lot of local persons who have invested in transportation services that are fully utilized. For a matter of fact, I'll tell you, we now in the government, we had to relook at, because we have a lot of delegations that are coming, foreign delegations, leaders, visitors. And we were placed in an embarrassing situation where we did not get the type of vehicle to rent, because we used to rent vehicles because most of them were occupied in the oil and gas sector. But as I said, we are going to push to ensure that every service we can provide as a people will be provided. I am now working on a plan to go much larger, much further than SUVs. One in which all the private sector, every single cent we can mobilize as a country to invest in a business opportunity in the oil and gas sector, to create an infrastructure that all those investors can invest, and one in which even ordinary Guyanese will be able to invest so that they too can be part of the growth and development, not of this sector, but of all the opportunities around the sector. I will launch that very soon, and I hope, Davina, you'll be the first investor.
Thank you very much for that assurance, Mr. President. Finally, from me, the last time we held a press conference, you publicly said to me that the details on any spill, that is, should be made public irrespective of the size. And you also said that you were unaware that the report was not shared regarding Exxon's 1 barrel spill. Can you please state if the government can now share the report on that spill?
So I'm fully aware that a press statement was issued because I went and checked back. A press statement was issued by Exxon and the government, but I know a press statement was issued on this matter. So nobody was hiding anything. This is one president won't hide anything. A press statement was issued on this matter. You're aware of the press statement?
No, sir.
Right. So I was told a press statement was issued on this very issue. And let me say, any spill, any issues like that, we take very seriously. Very, very seriously. We also have to understand, Davina, that Guyana is not an island by itself. I want you to understand this. You're a young person. I have a lot of respect for you. Guyana is not an island by itself. We have major investments in this country. We have major exposure also. A lot of the persons who are investing in Guyana, whether it's local people in apartment buildings, whether investing in hotels, many local people are building hotels, are doing so because of what is taking place in the oil and gas sector. And the type of added opportunities, jobs, or added wealth and growth that will emerge out of this sector. We are building a country, transforming a country, investing in infrastructure to support expansion in agriculture, supporting the expansion in education opportunities for young people, supporting the expansion of infrastructure for school based on revenue that is coming in from this sector. So we also have to be very careful that we are not in any way putting or blowing things out of proportion. Because at the end of the day, as a people, we have to protect our interests. And our interest is not only the natural resources. Our interest is the investment people are making in this country. Investment Guyanese and other investors are making in this country. We have a responsibility to ensure the success of these investments. We have a responsibility to ensure that policies are crafted to support these investments. You see, we don't have the luxury of writing headlines. We don't have the luxury of managing for headlines. We have to manage for the country and in the interest of the country. And as a politician, I speak personally now. I am on the ground working every day, managing in the interests of the people. Every single Guyanese. And in your interest too, Davina. Because hopefully you will own your own home. I hope you've applied. If not, please apply. Hopefully that you will be part of the growth story of Guyana. And in 10 years, when Guyana positions itself as a leader on energy, food, and climate, you will write those headlines too. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I know I said finally, but I have a follow-up question based on what you just said about
yes.
Policy making and so on. Exxon and their EIAs submitted to date have informed us that Guyana, an oil spill in the Guyana Basin can affect as much as 14 Caribbean islands. First of all, is government aware of this? And can you say what policies or what mechanisms are being put in place to address a possible situation like this? Thank you, sir.
In life, you can be negative or positive. For over 100 years, Trinidad and Tobago produced oil. 100 how much?
8 years.
108 years, Trinidad and Tobago produced oil. Trinidad and Tobago grew with oil. I have never seen the people of Trinidad and Tobago advance argument that is negative to the development of that sector over the 100 years. We can build on assumptions, positive or negative. What if is a big question. But part of planning the layout for an oil and gas sector is to ensure that in the infrastructure landscape, care is taken in ensuring the relative capability to respond to the multi-dimensional challenges of oil and gas is there. I know at Shore Base, I had a tour recently, and they showed me an entire specialized warehouse that is built and equipped and has equipment in there that is specifically designed to deal with issues like these. Huh?
The oil booms and so on.
Well, the detail, oil booms and so on, I don't want to get into that. And I urge Shore Base, because sometimes I think the media should be aware of what is happening, to arrange a study tour at Shore Base and the other facilities so you can see the scale of investment infrastructure that is supporting this sector. The very people who speak about oil and gas and what it can do or cannot do for us. By the way, I'm seeing a contractor who was supposed to be in a meeting earlier with me. He stepped away. You're late for the meeting. We have gone past that. What was I saying?
About the investment.
The investment and investors. So the capability has to be built. But a lot of people who talk about what we do here, they will come to me in the same breath and say, look at the transformation in Dubai, in Kuwait, in UAE, in the United States. Major supplier of natural gas now. They will use all of these examples. In Kazakhstan, in Norway. There are hundreds of positive examples out there that you can use to show what oil and gas can do for the transformation of a country. But Davina, there are also a lot of negative examples. And I read your news all the time. And most times, 99% of the times, you go for a negative example. You go for the failure. You can choose the failure or the success. There are many success stories that you can use as example. Why don't we grab onto them? So I am with you. We have to plan for any eventuality. And I support that. We are very young in this industry. But many sophisticated jurisdictions and countries who are in this industry for 50, 60, 100 years have not accomplished what we've accomplished. Because what are we doing? We're shortening the learning curve by looking at the worst practices and the best practices and ensuring that we put into system a functional policy that would allow the growth but also the safeguard. It's the balance. In life, you have to find a balance. The most important element in life for success is balance. Similarly for the country. When you're making policies, the policies must be balanced to attract investment, but at the same time, ensure consumer rights are protected. Protect investment, ensuring the local environment is protected. Creating balance is an important part. By the way, I forgot an important part to mention. Sports and sport development was an important issue raised in the region. So our investment in recreational facility and sport facility is important, and that will be a priority moving forward in this region too. Thank you very much, Davina. Any other question? 2 more questions and we're gone. No, from the media, please.
Good afternoon. Joseph Allen here from the staff. I know there was a promise. Yes, sir. I know there was a promise by your government to establish a Judicial Service Commission the first quarter of this month. We've reached the first quarter of this month. There is not an establishment.
Who promised that?
I didn't know there was a promise, but it was the AG.
No, but you started off that is a promise of the government. The government is run by the president.
But I understand that part of your responsibility.
Yes, and I take my responsibility very seriously. 2 points I want to make. The country is not without a Chancellor or Chief Justice. Let's make this point very clear. Guyana is not without a Chancellor or Chief Justice. We have an acting Chancellor and an acting Chief Justice. I want to make that first point. The second thing is that we are taking seriously the issue of the Chancellor and Chief Justice. Okay? The composition of the Judicial Service Commission requires the Public Service Commission. We are finalizing the work. There's outstanding issues from Parliament and some other agency to have the Public Service Commission up very soon. I mean, you know, when I say very soon, you just have to look for the notice. It can be at your doorstep.
Is there a timeline?
Very soon, right? That I can promise you very, very soon. When that is appointed, we'll then be able to move to the full complement of the Judicial Service Commission. And then as soon as that is done, the Judicial Service Commission will come in effect, and then we move towards the different matters that the Judicial Service Commission has to look at.
Another question is, Mr. President. The U.S. Embassy in Guyana has issued a greater security protocol. Are you aware of this? And
you don't think I'll be aware?
Yes, I'm sure you're aware.
My dear friend, I'm fully aware of the statement made by the U.S. We are working together. Every security threat, we take it as serious, and there is great collaboration between the U.S. and Guyana in dealing with a security issue, and that is as far as I'll go at this stage. And you know, security matters are sensitive matters. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. Good afternoon, everyone. My question to you, sir, is your government going to approve Exxon's fifth project without the fencing provision in place, or result co-liability with the government?
Thank you very much. That's the last question. Whatever the government do will be made public and will be justified. So, of course, there is applications in. The government is going through its assessment, and when we make our decision, it will be made public. You don't worry at all. One thing you don't have to worry is that we make decisions, we speak about our decisions, we justify our decision, and we make it open. I'm very happy that the media has so much access to information and that they are always willing to engage on these national issues. That is what we fought for, democracy. And I'm happy that you're able to exercise that democracy. Well, my dear friend, we'll address it. Thank you. God bless you. Ravina, you see the system is working, it's changed again there, unresolved. One day you can never tell. You might be outside of the Ministry of Finance. You know what's a good idea? We should explore. In addition to you stating with the revenue, how much comes in and so on, or production and so, you put a big screen outside the Ministry of Natural Resources and put it up there so people can pass and read everything. collate all the comments and so. Definitely, I'm sure that you'll be updated on some of the issues that were raised and how we are addressing it. Like we did in the LCDS, we address all the issues that were raised. Even if there are issues that we feel differently about, we say that. Come over there and talk.
We got 18 on